like we're live. Welcome, guys. We'll be getting started in a couple minutes. Meanwhile, I can go ahead and hit that link on the screen to enter in our giveaways for today. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Weather actually got quite lovely out today. It's supposed to be rainy, so it's almost a bummer that I will be in here building, but looking forward to wrapping up this awesome set. Alright, looks like it's 1 o'clock, so it's time to get started. Turning off that giveaway link for now. And yeah, I'm gonna get back to building the 1989 Batwing. This is how far we got last week. Made some pretty good progress. One thing I didn't really comment on is just how flat this thing is. Obviously the top we're gonna be building out. It's not a bad thing, I guess, that it's flat. Obviously, it kind of needs to be if it's going to hang on the wall. Not sure how much detail there is on the bottom of like the actual like screen prop. But again, as I talked about last week, it's not really on screen all that long to even really see the bottom too much. So not a big deal, and it's definitely going to look really awesome from the top. Hey there, Tragatakanuva. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. And yeah, so that's what we did last week. You can see we also got the 1989 Batmobile here in the background, so we can see how the two look side by side when we're done. But without further ado, I think we'll start getting going. Get some of my part trays out. It's not very clear what we're starting with bag 9 here. A little picture that shows like, hey, here's what you're going to be building with this bag. I honestly don't see any differences from what we have accomplished already, so I'm a little confused there. It almost looks like it's going to be one of like the fins that comes off the side, but it doesn't actually show that on the little picture, so We'll have to see. Alright, let's figure out where we can scoot you so we have some room to actually build. Get our webcam in position there. Turn the webcam on and get to it. So how has everyone's week been? Anything exciting happened? Got the Bio Cup going on, obviously. Congrats to everyone who made it out of the first round. So you've got a lot of these 1x4 snot bricks that we're putting on. So definitely something that's going to have some snot to it. Make sure I got these all tightly attached so we have a nice straight thing, whatever this thing is. Ooh, lots of cheese loops. I also see a lot of hinge bricks, so I definitely think this is going to be at least part of one of the fins. Let's see what else was happening this week. We had the new LEGO Ideas typewriter set got revealed. That looks pretty awesome. Definitely has some really cool functionality to it. I think it's going to be really awesome to see how that all works. Got this interesting little bat fin piece we're putting in that is going on a couple of these hinge bricks here. So we've got like all these snot bricks and this on a hinge. So I'm not sure how this is going to attach. It almost seems like it's going to actually go underneath or something. Because that just looks like that would be about the only place where it could safely attach without getting in the way of stuff. So I get quite a few of these 1x3 inverted tiles, aka the bottoms of Unikitty's head. Hey there, Mavlock. BioCup has forced you to go back to statues. Lots of building, I take it. Alright. That's definitely one of the most impressive things I think about the BioCup is how fast it forces people to build and the great mocks people come up with given those tight deadlines. Alright, so yeah, this is going to go on the bottom. Oh, building up your Brick for Virginia portfolio, also awesome. Can't wait to see some of those mocks in person. Alright, I have to actually attach this to the bottom. Figure out how this lines up. Well, it looks like we're going to be joined by a guest. I thought I was keeping her out. Hang on one sec, guys. Be right back. Alright, so as of yesterday, I started fostering a kitten, and I was trying to keep her downstairs, but somehow she got past the gate and is now here. So if you guys would like to meet Pop-Tart, there she is. See how she likes Lego. She is about 4 weeks old and is adorable. You're going to make this really hard for me to build, aren't you? Yes, you're very cute. Just don't eat any Lego parts. Where are you going? She says, I don't know, there's so many things to see. I think she's trying to figure out a way to get down. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's okay. wanna sit on my lap? Come here. Her name is Pop-Tart. That's the name the local Humane Society gave her. And as I mentioned, just keeping her for a few weeks. She has an upper respiratory infection, so they're trying to keep her away from all the other kittens so it doesn't spread around. Where'd you go? I gotta figure out how she got over that baby gate. Thought I had blocked it up pretty good. I didn't hear any crashes, so it's not like she knocked it down somehow. They are crafty, these little ones. No, don't eat my microphone wire. Not a toy. Oh, now you want to come back up? You're very distracting, you know that. That's so darn cute. I'm keeping Pop-Tart. That's what everyone keeps telling me. And it's like, oh, you're fostering, huh? Yeah, you're definitely gonna be able to give her back. No, don't eat my headphones. And Tragataka Nuva, you are awesome. Once again with your generosity gifting subs. second underneath fin assembly. Attach all these snot bricks to the bottom. Line that up. There we go. Except I have some little claws going into my leg. Alright, well that definitely helps, that thing I was talking about with the bottom looking empty, this definitely helps fill it out a bit. Vestigial Batwings. They're making a couple little like oval shaped pod things that I'm not sure if they're really supposed to be anything or if it's more just like they need something a little further out on the wings to distribute the weight when this thing is right set up. So just like these little oval guys, some more snot bricks on here. And just a matter of figuring out where they're supposed to attach. And then lining it up properly. Or at least making sure that the two sides are in the same spot, even if it's not precisely per the instructions. So that is bag 9. So yeah, we got these guys with these little fins that can flip out. You can kind of see that there. Always heard the black on black. They can fold back for when you're mounting it on a wall or displaying it flat like this. And then those two little pods help distribute the weight so it still sits flat. Alright, bag 10. Uh-oh. Crinkly got someone's attention. So it looks like we're going to be working on the front here, kind of fleshing that out. Oh, first got to fill in little bits on the wings. is bad, both for you and for the wire. Are you up too high? Come here. Come on. It's okay. There, you're down, where you will stay for all of 5 minutes before you want to come back up again. Alright, so just made these little doodads, which we have to flip this thing around. It's actually a bit easier to spin now that it has less surface area. It's actually touching. And these pop underneath, filling in that little notch that was in the front quite nicely. Alright, now looks like we're making, I guess, the bat ears that are going to attach onto here. Let's see if I can wriggle out some more space. This should be modded into a wearable backpack for the kitten. Yeah, I'm not sure that, I think it probably weighs a few times more than the kitten. So I'm not sure how well she'd be able to carry that. It'd probably smush her. She found an empty box, and now the question is going to be, is she going to be able to get back out of it? Oh, yep. Alright, so we got our bat ears, nice and solid. Not a lot of attachment points, but I'm pretty sure we're going to attach this section here to the snot bricks there. So let's see. There we go. And the other side. Gives it a nice, very unaerodynamic look to the front there. Yeah, you'd imagine it should just be a single nose cone, but nope. After we finish this bag, which we're getting close to, we're going to do our first giveaway for today. I'm going to take a quick break, see if I can figure out how Pop-Tart got up here. At the very least, make sure she can get back down since her litter box is downstairs. Don't want any messes. Alright, so now we can further lock in these bat ears. They're really getting that Batman symbol silhouette. Turn on the giveaway link. Alright, Mavlock, see you back in a little bit. No, don't eat the HDMI cable, Pop-Tart. Love these little splashes of color we still have in here, just to help make sure we don't get things improperly aligned. Alright, that's it for bag 10. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when I come back, we'll do our first giveaway. Alright, that was definitely some cat magic there, because Baby Gate was still exactly where I left it, but somehow she got over it. More research to follow. Anyway, let's go ahead, turn that giveaway link off, figure out who our first winner will be today. Hi guys, it's Disty. Congrats, you won a Darth Maul buildable figure. So of course, all know the drill by now. You enter your name, we tell you you won, you'll get an email, send us your address, and we'll send you a prize. You can only win once per stream, but you only have to enter once and you'll be entered in all of the giveaways we do that day. Alright, so bag 11 is starting out with the Bat machine guns. Using this tried and true piece. I know it's been around for a long time. I always associate this with Exoforce. Well, I'm sure it was probably around before then, or used in other sets around that same time. Kind of like that they're dark gray instead of black to help them stand out on here a little bit. Alright, now it looks like we're going to be focusing on the interior. Move this over a little bit. And yeah, obviously this is not minifigure scale. So even though it comes with minifigures, these are just for display. So like the seat and stuff we're going to be making for the cockpit are going to be a bit bigger. Stop trying to eat my cables. Alright, I've got the first stickers that we've seen in a while. A couple little control panels here. I think most of the stickers, if we are working on the interior here, are going to be used in this bag. Not that we have that many bags left to work on, so. So there's one little control panel. Where are you going? And the other little control panel. I feel like there's a very decent chance I'm not going to have a working microphone by the end of this stream, thanks to a certain someone trying to eat my microphone cable. with some little controls in here. Got a little joystick. That goes right there. Let's bring our camera in a little more. And then on the other side, I've got the throttle. Lock those in so they can't easily fall off. That's a lovely design choice. You can see that can go back and forth, and so can that. Really cool little detail there in the cockpit. Alright, I've got a little sub-assembly to make, so we'll pull back. So we can work on that. This is going to give us 2 more of our last few stickers. Actually, 4 more. Let's see those other ones there first. Alright, Pop-Tart, you are getting in the way down there, so you get to come up here for a little bit. Alright, so I've got a couple of controls there, and then some other details on the sides here. I think this is like the back of the seat, perhaps? Or maybe, oh, maybe this is going to go right there. That seems like it makes more sense. Hello. Alright, so there's like I guess our heads-up display or targeting computer or something. There it is, completed with the rest of this assembly. Alright, now this gets to go in here. So it kind of lines up nicely with some of these wedge plates from earlier. Starting to really give the cockpit a nice finished look there. Apparently Pop-Tart wants to drive. So yeah, that definitely seems more likely than her using it as a backpack. Oh yeah, she's trying to get in the Batmobile now. Are you Batcat, Pop-Tart? You are dark gray. Could pass for Batcat. Alright, so this looks like it's going to be part of the seat back. There's a route to make the headrest. Lining up. Well, interesting. This 2x2 plate here is slightly damaged. Probably won't be able to see it, but the little round thing in the middle is slightly deformed, so a stud is having a hard time going into there. Maybe 1x2 plate version. There we go. 1x2 plate version works, but the 1x1 would not go in based on that little deformation. Alright, so there's the back of the bat seat. snaps right into there. Look at that. Alright, now get to spin this around. Nice and easy. And we're going to work on the back of this section now. I think Pop-Tart tired herself out for now. She's just sitting on my lap, purring away. It looks like this assembly we're building is going to kind of go back here and kind of cover this tail section here and kind of get rid of all of that gray that's showing up. Quite all the gray, at least a good chunk of it here. Kind of finishing off the tail a little more. And I guess, you know, he couldn't do that before because he still had to be able to flip this upside down so he could install those fins on the bottom that we did at the beginning without crushing any of this stuff that's protruding out of the top. And right after I was talking about covering up all that gray, we're adding in some light tan. Which, you know, presumably will be hidden in the final model along with this yellow that we're about to put in here. For now, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. Time for our penultimate sticker, leaving only the display plaque left after this. And you know, I've been joking the whole time, calling things like the bat seat and the bat ears, the bat machine guns, but this sticker literally says bat engine on it. Pops right in there. And it's on a hinge plate, so it can open. Well, there's really not anything inside other than some gray. I'm not sure if we're actually going to put anything in there or not, or if it's just supposed to be a cool little detail. Alright, it looks like the last step for bag 11 is to finally make the flaps that attach to these clips we put on quite a while ago. Bat elevators, flaps, not sure the proper term there. Let's snap in. Let's show off this one. And those can manually go up and down. Kind of reminds me of the UCS snow speeder that had the flaps that could do that, but they actually had a cool little mechanism behind them. I don't think there would be any way you could fit such a mechanism in here, but it's a nice little detail nonetheless. So on to bag 12, which I guess this is going to finish up the main model, because bag 13 is just the stand. So we're going to add on the next set of guns, because we need plenty of bat machine guns, as well as the fins that go over here. But first, that little bat engine compartment I was showing off. Apparently, the instructions say we're supposed to put 2 crowbars in here. And I think the reason for the crowbars is actually going to be, so let's see. So in the cockpit here, we've got this 2x4 tile. I believe the point of the crowbar is going to be so we can hop up that tile, so you can access where the hook is, so when you're hanging on the wall. So while it's kind of a cute little thing putting crowbars in the engine compartment, they are actually there to serve a purpose. Any favorites from the Bio Cup so far? I've not looked a lot at the latest, I guess the first round after the preliminaries yet, so I have not really seen any of those entries. But there were definitely a lot of great ones in the first round. You know, lots of people had some really interesting takes on the theme of kind of like remixing Bionicle. Trying to think of some of the ones that really jumped out at me. So I did love, there's a lot of good Borok ones, I thought. One of the ones that's coming to mind that I can actually remember the builder is Balam's Korok Cycle. That was really cool. There's some great ones based on the Barog, different versions of Kadok and Gadok that were really fun. Just yeah, definitely a lot of great originality. I looked through the announcement topic of like who made it to the second round. It was just like crazy how close some of like the votes were between them, because it's definitely do not envy the judges there trying to figure all that out and try to be as objective as possible with that. Oh yes, the vacuum, I think that was a Borok one too, yeah, because they were cleaning, yeah, the Borok maid, that one was pretty fantastic. I definitely got a laugh out of that. I don't remember seeing the lawnmower though. I'll have to go look for that one. I mean, I forget how many entries there were in that first round, but I know 108 made it through to the second round, so that means there's a lot more in that first round, which is awesome. I love seeing the community come out like that for a building contest like that. Our little miniguns coming together here. Pretty straightforward build so far. Just got some snot brackets on the front to change the direction there. Really making use of those 1x2 rounded plates with the holes on them. Check out this lawnmower. Oh yeah, that is pretty awesome. Lawnmower and a vacuum. Okay. Oh, so all right. So I was talking about the Barog Maid. This is a lawnmower and a vacuum in one build. Very cool. I do like how kind of smooth and clean the shapes are. Like how well kind of incorporated the Barok heads into those builds. They look like they belong. I know there's the fisherman one that was pretty cool. I also enjoyed. One thing I'll say before I say the mock, but I did see quite a few creations that ended up on the Brothers Brick at various points. So that's really awesome. We just kind of like flooded Flickr with awesome Bionicle mocks, and Brothers Brick just couldn't help but spotlight a whole bunch of them. So props to everyone who got on there. I know Jason did a whole bunch of featured mocks on BZPower as well, of ones that he appreciated and liked. So definitely a lot of great ones that came out of it. But yeah, one of the ones I remember seeing on Brothers Brick as well was the Benny Classic Spaceman. I'm not sure how well that fit the theme of the Bionicle remix. I can't say I looked to see how that person did in the judging, but from a pure perspective of a mock, I thought that was really clever, and I thought that he did really well, or they did really well, the builder, with capturing Benny in kind of a Bionicle form. Hey there, Dollar. Alright, so there are our Bat machine guns, or Bat miniguns. The barrels do not actually spin around. I forget if they do in the film. I'd assume so, because that's usually the kind of design of a gun like this, that only one barrel is firing it at any given time, and the idea behind having multiple barrels is to keep each barrel a little cooler so you can have a longer sustained rate of fire. So in theory this should spin, but I think it's fun in this case that it does not, because I think that probably works out better for display, so you don't have it just kind of randomly like spinning around depending on the angle you're looking at it at. Alright, now that these are attached, so they can move a little bit here. You can see. But I assume we're probably going to build something, maybe the fins are going to keep it from moving too much. And hopefully they're going to cover up the back here where you can kind of see that hinge brick exposed. But for now we're putting on a bunch more hinge bricks that are going to be for the fins. I have to make sure I'm doing this right because I'm looking at the instructions backwards. at least backwards from how I have the model oriented. Alright, and now we actually get to go build the fin. So let's pull back so I can build that over here. Does anyone watch the premiere of Loki this week? Came out, what, on Wednesday? Yeah, definitely. I watched like the trailers and stuff for it beforehand, but I tried not to read too much about it, other than like knowing Owen Wilson was going to be in there, which I think, you know, he was pretty much all over the trailer, so that wasn't a spoiler or anything. But I definitely enjoyed the first episode. I'm very curious to see kind of the arc they're trying to tell, based on the period of time in the MCU that it is taking place in, and like what we know about Loki from like later on in the MCU. Curious to see how that all fits together and how they're going to tie it in. Oh, and I guess speaking of TV shows, obviously, you know, we've got Lego Masters airing. We should be having an interview coming up, I think tomorrow, assuming we can get everything ready to go. We should have that out tomorrow with the first team that was eliminated. So if you don't want to know who that was, then you might want to avoid that on the front page. By this point, the episode will have been out for almost a week, so kind of at that point, it's your own fault if you haven't seen it. I understand, you know, like you said, Paleo there, life gets in the way, but for something like a reality TV show, it's definitely harder to keep those spoilers out. I think when we post it, we'll try to keep the actual name out of like the main post, but you're gonna definitely be seeing it around. And I did hear that there's going to be a break in the season at some point because some silly sports thing called the Olympics. So I found that out today, so I figured I would pass that on. Kind of some good information people might want to know if they have been following the show and are looking forward to the next few episodes. At some point when the Olympics start, they're going to take a break. Alright, so we're working on the fins here, coming along quite nicely. This is definitely one of those things, the instructions are only having us build one fin, and of course, you know, I'm building both at the same time. But like thus far, there is nothing in here, like no aspect of the build that needs it to be like even symmetric to any degree. I'm kind of very confused as to why we couldn't at least build a decent sized section of it, of both at the same time, and then like switch over at the end to be like, all right, now do this to this one and this to that one. It's one of those little instruction things that will continue to befuddle me. It's like if this is an 18 and up set, you know, you can, you don't have to hold our hands that much to let go. So this started on step 501, and it takes until step 515 for us to need to break them apart into 2 separate fins, as far as the build goes. That's plenty of time, guys. Could have easily done those 15 steps and say, do this twice, and now take one to do this, and the other to do that. Alright, so there is our tail fins, using some slopes and inverted slopes to give that nice Batman kind of motif there. Alright, those slopes point towards the inside. These all lined up. Kind of interesting that the slopes are going on the inside. We'll have to see how that plays into things. Let's see those go up and down. Yeah, I already did all that. It actually has us fold those down, probably so we can work on the cockpit here. Figure out how all these line up. Again, the instructions have this thing pointed the other way, so you have to do some transformations in your head to make sure you're orienting some of the parts properly. I could spin it around, but then I'd have to be reaching all the way to the other side just to get to these parts, so that doesn't make much sense to me either. Oh, we got some more weapons before we wrap up. We got some bat missiles, it looks like. He probably fires them in the movie. It has been like a year since I've watched it, though. ice cream cone piece here. And I like that the tips of the missiles are dark red, just to give it like a little bit of color here, right? Don't want everything to be too bland, too black and dark gray. Some more silver accents going in as well. Gonna get some curve slopes in here. And so now the reason those slopes on the fins are pointed inward is revealed. So when you tilt them up, they kind of go on these 2x4 curve slopes there, and they blend in very nicely. Probably not showing up nearly as well on the camera because it's all black on black, but it is what it is. All right, now I've got this cool black cockpit piece for the back. And how this actually attaches onto these tan pieces here, it looks like. Oh, and then it will also connect down on this tail. So there goes the last of the color, the tan, the yellow, the tan here. Bye-bye. And literally all the other pieces that we've got left for this bag are black and looks like a couple of dark gray. Well, plus the trans black for the cockpit, which is what we are going to do now. So I think we can spin this around. And yeah, I think once we put the cockpit on, the Batwing itself will be done. And then we just have to build the stand. So I'm gonna go ahead, that reminds me, I should put up our giveaway link again. So if you entered for the first giveaway, don't need to re-enter. You're good to go. But we'll be giving away our next set in a moment. Well, a few moments, still got a little bit more to go in this bag. There, we got our lovely trans black canopy pieces. Even though they were in a separate bag, they still got a little scratched up. Not sure how well you can see it. There's a little scratch on this. Not the end of the world. I know some people get a lot more upset about that sort of thing. But I don't know. To me, like, once this thing is on display, no one's going to be staring at like an individual piece looking for imperfections, you know. Even if you take it apart and use it in a mock, I think the same thing is going to be true. They're just going to be like, look at that sweet trans black cockpit. dorsal fin to add to the top of the cockpit. Attached with a click hinge there. And then finish up the nose cone. This is not technically nose cone, just the nose of the cockpit. There we go. And then all that goes on here. Does it just rest? I don't see any parts where this is actually going to connect. Yeah, it literally just kind of slides in. And it's pretty impressive. Let's see if we can get like a little more of a bird's eye view here. Let's there we go. So you can kind of see how, especially this part here, slides in. And like it just like literally just kind of rests in there perfectly. And like I think if you tried to make this do a barrel roll, it would fall out. But just in general display, it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, this is definitely not minifig scale. If you remember the 1989 Batmobile we built last year, it's I think more or less the same scale as that, so it is quite large. 0 out of 10 not sushable. Alright. Well, we do have a couple last pieces to put on for this bag. And those kind of finish up to smooth out this area in the front here. Does not impede putting this in or out, it just kind of gives it a little finished look in the front. Alright, so let's open up our last bag, and then we're gonna pick our second winner for today. Of course, this bag is going to have our last sticker in it since it's the last bag. That evil, evil display piece. Display sticker. We got a little cardboard box for the Joker's coattails there. Alright, I'm not going to build anything though, because we have a giveaway to do. Turn off that link for now. And it looks like Paleo. Congrats, you're second winner of the day. Gonna be taking home a Stormtrooper Commander buildable figure. So congratulations. This is interesting. I think this is the first time I've seen one of these little cardboard boxes where there's no actual tape, it's just a tab. That's kind of nice. So there's a little fabric piece for the Joker. Alright. And this thing is definitely massive. We can scooch this over into this corner. So I have some space to build the stand. Find our minifig parts though. Alright, so we'll take a quick look at the Joker's legs since we have to kind of cover them in fabric. They're white, single molded with some nice printing though on the hips, the legs, and the toes. And we put our little coattails on. there is the Joker in his lovely little formal outfit there. A little bit of back printing, no double-sided head since he is going to be wearing a top hat. And he's holding a little feather. Again, it's been a year since I watched the movie, so I forget the context of this. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a quill pen or something. So we get a little stand for him temporarily, because we're going to be building, of course, a stand for the minifigs. Alright, I'm going to just start things off before we get too far with putting this sticker on. So, move the instructions out here so we can get the sticker closer to me. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Guess I've done enough of these at this point. There is our display plaque. Max speed, cruising speed, length, height, wingspan, engines, weapons. It says its max speed is 1,400 miles per hour, so it's definitely a supersonic Batwing. Quite the little speed demon. Alright. I think it's interesting that the display stand here is all light gray. I guess to add some contrast and so you don't think It's part of the Batwing itself. Alright, thank you, Dollar. Always good to see you here. Appreciate you coming by. Have a great rest of your weekend. Quite the extreme Technic build so far to hold this thing up. Those in. Starting to take shape there. Time for a Technic Pin Palooza. Kind of funny if the instructions just said like all the Technic pins. Because that's what it boiled down to there. Definitely some really nice snot and tile work going into the base here. Alright, now these. Attach on here. Alright, it's looking like a stand. It's a little wobbly right now. Once we're done with the stand, we still have to make the minifig display too. On here. That looks about right. Okay, now we get to put this on the stand. Let it testify. Oh, this is heavy. My hand, where I picked it up, was right where the place for no, that is the hook. There we go. Hey, we did it. Definitely a little wobbly there, but it is sturdy. It's staying up. Alright. I just need to make the stand for the minifigs and we will be done. We will certainly be doing at least one more giveaway. How many have we done? Only 2 so far, so probably, guess I'll put the link up right now for a giveaway. And so we'll do a giveaway once we're finished with the set, and then we'll take a final look at the set and the Batmobile and do one more giveaway. Alright, just gonna make some gargoyles and we'll be done. Love the use of these little street sign pieces as the wings on the gargoyles. Still looks great. And just like having the gargoyles themselves gives you that little, kind of gothic feel that they were going for. Definitely helps capture the Tim Burton aesthetic from this film. This film that turns 32 this year. Alright, so there is the stand. And we just got to put our minifigs on. Of course, Batman is going to go in the middle. Just going to go with the, yes, with the box facing forward there. And looking at how they're putting the minifigs on the stand here, I think I put the minifigs on incorrectly on the stand on the Batmobile. Just like off by a stud, but I definitely think it makes more sense. Alright, so then at the end of the instructions, I think can turn off our picture-in-picture for now. They kind of give you some instructions on how to mount on the wall. They do not provide you any sort of screw or anything. You have to provide that on your own, but it should be pretty straightforward to do. And yeah, using the crowbars, as I mentioned before, to kind of flip up those pieces so you can access the mount. Very handy. We'll show that off in a sec. Feedback at win, and then we've got the inventory. Batman. All right, so we're done. So it's time to do another winner. I'm just going to leave that link up since we're going to be doing another one pretty shortly. I can move the camera out of the way for now. And Mavlock, congrats, you've won a First Order Stormtrooper. So I'll be getting in touch with you to get you that prize. Alright, so first up, our minifigs on this lovely little display piece. I definitely like it when they come up with a way to display the minifigs. You know, some of the early Star Wars UCS sets didn't even have minifigs, and then they started adding them with little displays on the stand. And I think this is kind of like even the next level, where it has its own little character with the gargoyles on it. So of course we've got Batman, we've got the Joker in a different outfit from the Batmobile, and then we've got his goon with his boombox to blast some tunes. But that's really kind of not the main thing to see here. Main thing is obviously the Batwing itself. So I think now that it's all done, the variety of colors, just like that, those little splashes, the trans yellow, the light gray, and the dark gray, really help set it apart and kind of show off some of the shapes and curves. And now that it's on a stand instead of flat on my backdrop, I think a lot of those curves and angles are showing up a lot better. So that's always good to see as well. It looks great pretty much from any angle here that we're looking at it at. I love the detail on the back here with these like veins, and it kind of goes down to one stud on the tail. This is a little wiggly down here, so you got to be careful with that. That's probably the most fragile part, I would say. The fins are probably kind of fragile too, but at least those are going to be easy to reattach if they pop off this thing. Not so much. I would say, like, just kind of looking at this now that it's all done. That one not attached all the way. Something doesn't look right with this flap here. Something's not attached properly there. I think the plate, okay. I do not recommend pushing down on these plates while it's on the stand, but you know, I'm a trained professional here. There we go. Just gotta be careful when you do that. Yeah, so out of like all the different shapes and angles and stuff, I would say one thing that I commented on earlier on the stream that I'm a little disappointed in is on the minigun attachment points. The backs here are just kind of flat. You can see the hinge brick back there. Would have been nice, like we have these little curved pieces here, these quarter dome pieces, like have another one of those there or something here to kind of slope that back into the body or just cover it up a little bit. I do keep noticing like different like little plates and tiles that look like they're off. So if you get this set and build it, definitely take your time pushing down on all the plates and tiles on these two wings as you're assembling them, so you don't come into that problem like me. Okay, so yeah, that's the problem is again, it's the plate underneath. That is not all the way down. There we go. So you don't have any little bridges where you're not supposed to have them. But I'd say otherwise from the back, it looks pretty fantastic for sure. Love the edges of the wings here. That was a really cool technique. If you weren't watching last week, you should definitely scrub through that video to get to the point where we do these. And it's like, this whole thing is essentially on hinge plates, but then it's attached to the wings here. In some really interesting ways. There's like 2 rubber bands in each of these sections and some other interesting connections to get that smooth line here, and then also to have that nice 2x2 curved slopes on the top and bottom to kind of give it that wing shape so it looks like it might actually have some lift. Looking at it from the front, obviously we've got that kind of dual prong nose cone, you know, to give it that Batman logo shape. I think that works pretty well here. And then I guess we'll bring the webcam back on in a sec so you can look at the cockpit. But you can at least see the cockpit piece here. This is all one giant piece that pops open or pops off. Not really held onto place by much, so as was mentioned in the chat, it is not very swooshable. You cannot do a barrel roll with this thing. We do have a nicely detailed cockpit, including the little engine compartment. And before I go into that, let's just switch over to the webcam. So we can get a good look inside the cockpit. Alright, yeah, so you can see there's lots of stickers in here. Pretty much all of the stickers are the display plate and then just the different little cockpit details. So if you're not a fan of stickers, you could probably skip them and it will be okay. It won't be the end of the world. But I do like how we've got like the little throttle and the joystick here that vaguely reminds me of what it looks like in the movie, so I think it's pretty accurate there. You can see the missile pods here and the machine guns on the side, and yeah, all sorts of little control panels on the stickers. And then Batman's got his nice little seat here with his headrest, and it can kind of move a little bit to adjust. And then the engine compartment here does open up, and that's where those crowbars are hiding that you can use to kind of get in here under this tile. And then you can use them to kind of remove some of these other parts. So you can get to the hanger here, so that when you're hanging this on the wall, you know, you kind of have some wiggle room so you can work with to line things up and make sure the screw or anchor or whatever you're using to hold it in is lined up properly. So I do like that they kind of give you those crowbars and even give you a nice little space to tuck them away in. And yeah, very nice detailed interior there. And while we're on the webcam view, just really appreciate like the shaping going on here, and then when we put this cockpit canopy back in, just how well that lines up. And like there's like no gaps or very little in the way of gaps there. I think that looks pretty fantastic how that all lines up. What we got in the chat? Looks like the cockpit is Scala baby scale. I don't have any Scala babies, so I can't compare, but I think it does look about that size. Maybe it's a little bigger, I would say, than a Technic figure scale from back in the day. I think a Technic figure could fit in there, no problem, but they might look a little small. Is the front cockpit display sticker upside down? Yes, it does look like I put that on upside down. Thankfully, that's just a 2x2 inverted tile that we can flip around there. Good catch. Alright, and line that back up. Alright, and now let's go back to our main camera. Can move that out of the way again. And I guess the kind of one of the last things to show off, see how well it'll come across here, is that this is like essentially the big Batman logo. At this point it's too large to fit on camera in like a direct top-down view, but you can see the bat ears and everything. And here actually we got the instructions, so you can kind of compare. You know, it's not the perfect one-to-one shape, but you can clearly see that that's what they were going for in 1989 when they made the film. And I think it captures that really well. All right, let's see if we can get this back on the stand. There we go. One nice thing, I guess we haven't looked at the bottom too much. I guess there's two things about the bottom. So one is you can see the place for the hook to mount on the wall. Oh, and there's that lack of swooshability and the fact that the canopy isn't held in. But there is some color. You can see there's some azure and some red here, so it helps make it a little easier to find the place where the stand attaches. And there is a little bit of detail along the sides to get a little bit of texture. And I think I knocked part off there. So knock this little guy off, so let's fix that real quick. And yeah, so when it's on the stand, that means there are like these little fins on the bottom that you can fold down that you guys can't really see from this angle. They kind of complement and are symmetrical with these fins up here, so kind of cool effect. All right, so I guess first up, I'll fix the minifigures on this display. And so you can kind of take a quick look at the two minifig displays from the sets. It looks like they are pretty much identical with their builds. Same builds on the gargoyles, same masonry bricks, same track pieces. The Batmans look like they are identical, but obviously the Jokers are different, and then we've got Vicky Vale on one and the Thug on the other. Although he does have the little grappling hook gun on the one from the Batmobile versus just the Batarang on this one. So it's kind of cool that you have two now that you can kind of display side by side. And so last up, bring in the Batmobile. Kind of give you some more scale here. Not sure how well that will come across. Let's get these figs out of the way. I'm gonna try to put the Batmobile in front of the Batwing, so you can kind of see them side by side here. And yeah, so quite large for sure. I think the Batmobile is a little longer. Obviously the Batwing is wider, so kind of overall feels more massive. But they do look pretty great. Let's turn off our giveaway link. I think if you haven't entered by now, you're probably not going to. They do look pretty nice together. If we spin the display stand around, we've got the little display plaque for the Batmobile as well. And yeah, they definitely make a good pair. You know, kind of have some of the same motifs with the different shaping and stuff. I think make it look really good. I'd say the only problem is the fact that both of them are predominantly black, so it does, yeah, they do kind of blend in with each other a little bit. But I think they look pretty great. I would say I do love, can move the Batwing out. I'm just gonna do this again because I love the stand for this Batmobile so much, because you can just spin it around like that. Anytime I have visitors over and like, oh, look at the Batmobile, you know, I always spin it around because it's just so much fun. Definitely one of the best features in a kind of UCS scale set. And of course you got the opening cockpit there. And actually kind of looking at the seat designs. The seat designs, at least the seat back, not the headrest, but the seat back is the same in the Batmobile as it is in the Batwing. So even kind of some of the same design language there. All right, so that is the 1989 Batwing. I kind of wish the stand here was a little taller, because as I'm trying to display it with the Batmobile here, I keep running into poses where the Batwing is hitting the Batmobile. Although if it was a little taller, it would definitely be putting more pressure and torsion on those Technic beams, and that would not be good for the longevity of those pieces. Yeah, so I think that's going to wrap things up for today. Going to do one more giveaway to close things out. So we're going to close the form and pick one last winner. We're going to fix this. I'm gonna fix this for good eventually. Save doing a quick little workaround every time. And Dollar, who I know had to leave, unfortunately, but they are our final winner, winning a Chirrut Imwe buildable figure from good old Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Alright, Batmobile, back out of here. So we can take one final lovely look at our Batwing. A lot of fun to build. I think it's going to be great to display. Monochromatic, but you know, that's obvious. No getting away from that based on the source material alone. So that's not really a big complaint so much as just kind of, it is something to keep in mind that it is a lot of, you know, dark pieces. It does kind of make it a little difficult at times to build because you're putting, you know, black on black on black. And it's definitely better to appreciate in person as opposed to, you know, via pictures or a camera where you can kind of see all the different lines and shapes and curves that much better in person. Yeah, so as far as future streams, I think we're definitely taking next weekend off. We have recently requested some sets from LEGO, but they have not arrived yet, so our next stream will probably be dipping back into some of the sets in my personal collection. I'm thinking maybe we're going to be building Grogu, good old Baby Yoda, that little statue. So, but we'll see. Open to suggestions, or maybe the sets we requested from LEGO will show up and we'll build some of those. So thanks so much, guys, as always, for watching. Hope you have enjoyed our stream today and last week. Definitely a great set if you're a Batman fan. Hard to go wrong with a nice large-scale Batman set. I think it's a great value. You know, less than 10 cents per part, which is always something that people kind of look at, even if it's not always the best indicator of a set's value. We do get a lot of great pieces here too, even if you're just looking at it from a, hey, I want to build this, enjoy it, and then take it apart. It's definitely worth it from a parts perspective, I think, as well, if that is more your thing. So, hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend. Keep building, stay safe, get vaccinated, wear a mask, all that good stuff, and we will catch you all next time. See you later, guys.